Hey YouTube, it's Dwayne here again, filming part one of two-part video series that I'm going to be doing on experiment with some base colors for Spaz Stix Chrome. I've often wondered to myself whether or not if different colors like white or blue or black have any bearing on the brightness of the chrome itself once it's sprayed on there. And I have heard that guys have used white, blue, or black. I've only ever used black base. With the black base, the chrome always seems to be a little bit darker than what I'd prefer. I mean, it still looks pretty good, but when you compare it up to the kit chrome, the kit chrome is a whole lot brighter. So we're gonna find out if there's any bearing on the brightness of the chrome with different base colors. So what I'm doing is I just basically prepared a couple of spoons. Well, I've prepared 3 spoons, but I just got 2 in primer. Just using gray primer sealer. It's a duplicolor. If I can find the can here. That's all it is. Duplicolor primer sealer. I've always had good success with that stuff, so that and the black seem to work pretty good for me. So we'll be using the gray, and then what I'm going to do here this evening is shoot the blue and the black, and I'll show the process of spraying the blue and the black to give you an idea what you need to do to get a really very, very high gloss shiny finish. Because the shinier the finish with the Spaz Stix or all clad chrome, the better your final chrome is going to look. So we'll start by, well, first of all, what I'm going to be using for the black is just your Tester's black enamel. I've tried a number of different black bases for Spaz Stix, and I've just found that this gloss black, the good old Tester's, it just lays down nice, easy, and it always seems to produce the best gloss finish. And I have tried the Spaz Stix Ultimate Black Backer along with some other gloss lacquers and enamels, and I always come back to the Tester's. So and before I get into spraying that, I'll just let you know that the white, I've already prepared a white spoon. I'll probably get another fairly wet coat of white on this one. This white seems to take it's a little tougher to cover, but I'm just using the little jar of the Tester's white enamel. And the only reason I have them in jars is because every time I go to the store to buy the white gloss enamel in the spray can, they're sold out. So we've got the enamel in the little jars. And for the blue, I'm just going to be using the Model Master. This is just metallic blue. Kind of curious to see what it looked like with metallic underneath it. I'm sure that probably isn't going to change the way anything looks, but that's what I'm going to use for that. So to get started here, I'll get the airbrush, get the camera pointed in the right direction here. Hopefully that's a good spot, so maybe I'll point it down a bit more. That'll work. Yeah, should be able to see that good there. So for my black, I always have it pre-mixed. I decant it and keep some on hand in a jar like this, so it's quick and easy for me to get that up in the airbrush and going. So we'll start with the black, and then I'll just do a quick clean on the airbrush. I won't do a full breakdown and clean with it before we shoot the blue. So, need my lid. Of course I can't find it. Oh. Hidden behind the all-clad steel. And this too, I wanted to demonstrate, how you would get a high gloss finish with the airbrush. Some guys, they've got it nailed. I'm sure a few guys would like to see the technique that I use for spraying enamel. So first of all, just start off really light. Just get a little bit on there. And then I like to get a little bit heavier with each coat, is how I like to do it. So that just seems to provide a nice little base, get the paint kind of sticking to the primer, and then I go a little bit heavier with the next coat. Also like to shoot fairly close to the work, about 3 to 4 inches from the spoon, and that gives me the best control over the surface area there. So now we'll get a little bit heavier yet with our next coat. And you can see that it's looking wet as I'm spraying it. If it looks like it's kind of dull a little bit, you can always go over that spot again. Same spot multiple times if you have to. And as long as it's got sort of that wet look going to it. Now this here, that's 2 coats. We got a little bit of orange peel going on there, but once we get a 3rd coat on there, we should see that start to disappear. So now when I shoot spoons, I kind of go in a hurry. I don't, you should probably go, I don't know, I would, between coats, I tend to go an hour, 2 hours sometimes. I don't know. A lot of times I'll paint at night, and then I'll put a couple coats on and let it sit overnight, and then come back to it the next evening. But when I'm shooting spoons, I just plaster as much on there as I can in an evening, and that usually gives me what I need in terms of, if I'm testing different colors and so forth. So we'll give this a 3rd coat here right away, and as I say, we'll go fairly heavy on that. Or 4th coat, I don't know, I've probably lost track. So that's pretty good. That's going to give us now a real good idea what our chrome's going to look like when it's all said and done there. So I'll do just a quick switch over here to the blue. Do a little clean up. I just run some lacquer thinner through the airbrush. I have one of these droppers, and a little container that it's just a yogurt container with a little pie shape cut out in the lid. And that's what I just spray my thinner into. So this is just lacquer thinner. Hold the airbrush upside down, put a little thinner through it. Then I just like to grab a Q-tip, get a bunch of it out of there. It's not too bad. So we didn't do a lot of painting here, so it's not going to be too bad to clean. And then I'll run some through the cup. And that's just lacquer thinner. Okay. So now I grab my blue. I'm going to mix some of that up in a cup. When I'm mixing my enamels, I like them to shoot them fairly thin. So I've got some paint thinner in a little bottle, and I'll just mix this up a little before I pour some in there. Don't need a ton of it. I'm going to probably thin that down very close to 1:1 here. So we'll that should do it. I'm using these cheap dollar store coffee stir sticks just simply because I somehow managed to lose my nice little Tamiya stir stick. Nice little metal one that I use. So and we got our paint mixed, so we'll dump that in the cup, and probably got a little more than we need, but that's alright. So again, same thing. Just get some paint on there. First coat. Went a little quicker that time, but that's just how I get it going. So, anyways, you can see it's already got a fairly good gloss going on there. So, give it a second coat, and then we'll go give this a little bit more dry time. That doesn't look too bad. What I'll do is I'll go one more heavy coat on all 3 different spoons, and then once I get that done, then we'll come back and we'll show you how the Spaz Stix goes on there. So darn compressor. I've got a blanket over top of it right now to try to help deaden the sound, but it's still pretty loud in here, and hey, it's on the floor this time, so we're not going to have any jump scares this video. So, but anyhow, yeah, that's just just a technique. That's just how this technique is how I used to paint cars as well. So that'll give you a good idea how to get a decent finish there. I think there's a little piece of dirt in it, but you can see that's fairly glossy. A little bit of orange peel in the black one here, but another heavy coat of that'll get that cleaned up. And again, the white, it's got a little bit of orange peel in it as well. But even with a little bit of orange peel, we're still going to get a really good idea of what our the brightness of what our chrome's going to look like when we're done here. So yeah, one more coat of blue and then we'll see you in the next video.